Why did the bee get married? Because he found his honey. Okay, and here's the best dad joke of all. What's the difference between love and marriage? Love is blind and marriage is an eye-opener. You know, I vaguely remember that Caitlin had told me I couldn't tell any dad jokes of this. But that's all right, it's too late. So, Caitlin did tell me I never listened or something like that. Anyhow, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to redo this talk and I'm gonna have to do something that's gonna be a little bit more directed towards this event and enticing. And I started thinking about Austin's posse that he has here, you know, like Brody and Colin and JJ and Jacob and Connor and Matt. And I thought, you know, if I don't fashion it the right way, they're not going to be interested. So I decided I'm going to fashion it like a mini skirt. I'm going to have it long enough to cover the essentials, but short enough to keep them interested. So are you guys ready to stay interested? Once upon a time, a long time ago, or about 22 years, there was a little princess named Caitlin. There was nothing more in the world that she enjoyed than going into her playhouse and gathering all of her Barbies and playing her wedding, which she envisioned in the future. She did so many things to prepare for this wedding as she grew up. For example, when she would go to other people's weddings, she would wear a nice wedding dress and call it her wedding dress and bounce down the stairs so she could act like she had a long train that she was dragging behind her. She also used to spend hours and hours watching Disney movies and memorizing all the most favorite love lines and romantic parts of the movies. She used to say things like, "Love is a song that never ends," from Bambi. Or, "My dream wouldn't be complete without you in it," from The Princess and the Frog. Or, "No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep believing, the dream that you wish will come true," which I think we all know is from Cinderella. Through all the years of training, she developed into a lovely and gifted young lady, personable, smart, caring, creative. She could accomplish just about anything she wanted to. After advancing in her education and growing in her life experience, something magical happened. A young prince in shining gym shorts named Austin saw her and swept her off her feet. Now, while he didn't have a sword, he had something even better. He had a golf club, and lots of it. Austin, borrowing from Pete's dragon, told Caitlin, "As sure as rivers flow, I'll never let you go," and followed with, "Let me share this whole new world with you," from Aladdin. And borrowing from the movie Bolt, Caitlin said back to Austin, "I made a wish upon a star, I turned around and there you are." And then from Princess and the Frog, she said, "Love always finds a way, it's true." Now Austin took Princess Caitlin to a big, beautiful castle. Well, maybe a rundown farmhouse in Mountain Home, Idaho. To start their starry-eyed future together. As Caitlin looked into Austin's eyes and their new home, the words of Pocahontas came to her mind. "If I never knew you, if I never felt this love, I would have no inkling of how precious life can be. And if I never held you, I would never have a clue how at last I'd find in you the missing piece of me." And then she remembered, and this is the important part for all of you, the wise advice from her father. And he gave it from The Little Mermaid. "Far better than any dream, my girl, is one of flesh and blood, one warm and caring and right before your eyes." And then he reminded her of what Aladdin said, "Today's special moments are tomorrow's memories." And speaking of Caitlin's father, as he watched them walk off to their new happiness in the future, he thought to himself, "I loved and I lived more deeply because of what you brought to my life. I love you, my little princess. Austin, it's such a great privilege to have you join the family. We're so excited to have you come. And what's so amazing is one of the important things Caitlin wanted in a husband was to have a strong family that she could feel a part of. And I will tell you, you can't find a better family than the Bordeaux. I think a lot of you who've got to know them or who've known them for a long time will agree. She absolutely adores her parent-in-laws, Tom and Linda. They are the best people in the world to be associated with, and Linda and Caitlin just click. I think it's just a perfect situation for everyone involved. And I gotta tell you, she really thinks the brothers are great. She really likes Brody, Colin, and JJ, and she has always told me that they make her feel like a sister. They just take a lot of care for her and stuff, and she's just really impressed with them. I remember the first time I met Brody, she goes, he's the coolest guy. So, I think that's just such a special opportunity. I did want to talk a little bit about Austin, but he caught me in the hallway earlier and said that I could not say anything about his ex-girlfriend's alcohol or the police. So I guess that's all I have to say about that. Actually, I will tell you, the first time I met him, I was so impressed with him. He was probably the most polite, kindest person I'd ever met. He took an interest in Caitlin's family, which is incredibly impressive a lot of times for an early person that you start dating. And anytime we needed help, he was always volunteering. I'll tell you, I've never found a harder work ethic in any young man than I have in Austin, and I'm so proud to be associated with him and get to see him work like that and get to see him be so successful and to be a part of Caitlin's life. It's going to make a world of difference for her. And I think the Bordeaux, again, get a big thanks for helping that. You can really see just the quality that they bring. Okay. If you've seen what Caitlin and Austin have done with this castle that I talked to you about earlier, from when they bought it until now, I think you'll all agree that it's nothing short of impressive and miraculous. They took something that needed an awful lot of work and that wasn't quite livable and turned it into truly a castle that they can grow and develop in. It's just such a nice place now. It's a world of difference. But again, that's from really hard work. But what I learned from all that is if they can survive working that hard and getting that house put together, they can survive anything. And if there's any time to get mad at each other, that was it. They still worked hard and they got so much done. As the father of the bride, as I wrap up here, I'm supposed to leave some parting wisdom. So I'm sure what you would really like me to answer is, what's the secret to a happy marriage? And well, that still remains a secret. But what I can share is that every day should count. Make it special, make it real, and remember, arguing with your spouse is just about like trying to read the terms and conditions of an app on your phone. In the end, you just give up anyhow and say, I agree. And I did want to give you some biblical advice. So I'm going to give you some advice from Ecclesiastes 4:9, which says, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. If either one of them falls, one can help the other up. So if any of you have a bad day, the other can bring you up. And that's the whole point of marriage, is to support each other, make each other better, and give each other happiness like that. And then I, of course, have to throw in my personal thing, which you've heard me say a lot, and that's remember what Ellen says at the end of her show, be kind to one another. If you remember that simple phrase, it'll help. And now I'm going to end, as you can tell, we're kind of a Disney family, so I have to end with Disney. And I'm going to end with something that Winnie the Pooh said, and that's, a day spent with you is my favorite day. So today is my new favorite day. You should make each day your favorite day because you get to spend it with each other. Let's all raise a glass in celebration to Caitlin and Austin. Congratulations.